With this?
Was that you, Earl? I thought I heard Earl out there. Anyhow, yeah. Yeah, I guess to the point where you got to start doing something, but that sounds quite interesting. Be neat. Even doctor's office is zero pain. That'd be pretty neat. Yeah. But yeah, that was a long recovery time doing our knees. At least for me, surgery was nothing compared to the recovery time. That took forever. And the PT was painful. But, oh well, I'm glad I did it. My other one has, I have a few aches in it, but I don't think I'm going to ever have to do anything with it. But I like that idea. At least I'd give it a try. It's not that expensive. It's worth a try. You never know. It may work out for you. Let's see. I don't have much more, really. I woke up kind of late. Went to bed earlier than I normally do. And, boy, I'll tell you, it's been a day out in the ocean, bobbing around like a buoy. And sun's hitting you. It wears you out. I'm telling you. You spend a day out in the ocean like that.
Hey, Jack, how you doing? I'll get it to you at the top of the hour. I remember it is Friday, Jack. You're on the log, buddy. That's our system treasurer, 89PDY, W7PO8, check-ins YL system. Alpha Golf 5, Echo Yankee, come on in. Alrighty, till 15 over 9. Beautiful copy, buddy. W7PO8, check-ins YL system. 0 REG. Come on in, Brad. How you doing? Alrighty, Reg, you're on the log. Thank you, my friend. W7PO8. Another check-in. Come now. One more call. W7PO8. Check-ins YL system. Alrighty, Miss Becky, KI5KKV.
He said you have to go back a year or so, and the recovery, it takes a whole year, and it took the first 90 days. I didn't sleep hardly because every time you move around, you couldn't get comfortable and all that stuff. And then a couple times I wore that big knee brace they give you, and it neutralizes your legs. You can't bend it, and that was hard to sleep with and stuff like that. Then physical therapy, I did 14 hours of physical therapy. Had to go back 14 times. Well, the place that had done this, I had to go back there. We drove 1,000 miles for 14 treatments.
She had, the height of the reddish. I mean, she was all reddish and no meat and potatoes. But anyway, it was just so ridiculous. But she had to make a big deal about the abortion thing, and Trump's made it clear, and it's clear to me. I mean, it may take a little while to normalize, but I think it's a good step. I believe in government at the lowest level, or decision making at the lowest.
Welcome, Lonnie, to this net. This is the 7290 traffic net. We've been here for 71 years, always on Monday through Saturday from 10 till 12, and Monday through Friday from 1 till 2. Lonnie, if you'd like to learn a little bit more about us, we have a website, www.7290trafficnet.org. That's www.7290trafficnet, all one word, .org. Honey, I've got you on my database. Hopefully you'll come back and check in again, or as often as you can. And if you do check in with me again, I'll know who you are. So, Lonnie, thanks for checking in this morning. Did you have any traffic?
Thanks for the info. I'll definitely check it out, and we'll be seeing you guys. So
7-3, Lonnie. Have a good weekend. Now we have traffic for Comanche. And we're looking for your check-in with or without traffic. Come with your call sign only. We're looking for check-ins with or without traffic. Come with your call sign.
How can you, and then, but because they constantly say this is still Trump's fault, this is Trump's fault, everything's Trump's fault, and they buy it. And that, to me, that's the scariest part about all of this, is that there's humans walking around with that. Something happened to their brain, man. I don't know if it was sprayed on them from the chemtrails, or if it was, I don't know what the hell's happened to these folks. I just thought we were more all kind of like the same, and they absolutely they worship her. They were told to worship her, and then they did. They worshiped Biden like a god, and he could do no wrong. I saw Pelosi on TV on a YouTube clip that said, and she was just going on how he should be on Mount Rushmore. And Leslie Stahl goes, "You're kidding, right?" And no, he was that great a president. He should be on Mount Rushmore. And Leslie Stahl, who's a liberal over at, I think she's at ABC on 2020 or something, she was kind of taken back by that level of stupid, you know?
Yeah, well, I have to agree with her. I think he ought to be put up there on Mount Rushmore, but I believe we ought to give him at least 30 days of food. What do you think?
Well, yeah, and I don't know. Can he feed himself? I don't know.
I don't know. I guess we'd have to bring him down after 30 days, but it's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I got a kick out of they showed Joe Biden putting on a Trump hat. Did you see that?
Oh, I did see that. That was funny. You know, that was funny, right?
Yeah, it was. So I don't know. That kind of tells you, I think Joe's kind of maybe changed his attitude. He doesn't care anymore.
Well, and it was also a dig at Kamala, too, in the coup that Pelosi and Obama did against him. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I thought maybe he's just a little hacked off, and, it's like, well, feed her, I don't care,
Yeah, and he seems pretty coherent at the time, too, so it's hard to say what he actually knows and doesn't. He's still an evil bastard on a good day, but that was a good moment.
Yeah, he's definitely not one of the good guys, that's for sure. And he's demonstrated that over time, too.
Oh, for years and years and years, yeah, he's been that evil, well, just like his son and his brother, there's a lot of stuff. Is he going to pardon his son? I don't know what's going on with all that. I hadn't heard.
No, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. He pleaded guilty. I forget if when they said the sentencing would be. I assume it'll be before the Joe's term is over, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. Probably can't do it before the election. Then that'll be a big election point. But you know he's going to do it. And I can't figure out how his son didn't like string it out longer. You know, and they've got all this power. I mean, they own all these different judges. It seems like they would have. That whole part didn't make sense to me at all.
Yeah, they got some kind of deal worked out, I'm sure. So, yeah, anyway, it's pathetic, but yeah, I don't know. And so, you know, this thing of the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, and all that stuff that came up in the debate. That issue is they, you know, should have been on track to bringing out a bunch of stuff that, I forget what his name is, but on YouTube he's real good, and then he broke it down, you know, issues that are important, the abortion issues, non-issue, they both basically agreed on that, and different things, so, you know, it only boiled down to about one thing that they need to talk about. But anyway, it was way off track, that so-called debate, which it wasn't a debate.
Well, Trump came out yesterday and said there'd be no more debates. Did you see that?
Well, I saw that. I see so much, you know, it's, you know, what do you believe? I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if he said that or not. I heard that he did, but anyway, yeah, it's useless. I mean, especially if it's going to be rigged like that, so it doesn't gain anything. You don't bring out the issues, you know. He didn't really address the issues. You know, it's like I'll just fix it. You know, I've got great ideas. Trust me, you know.
Yeah, no, he came. I don't know if it was on Truth Social or he press released it through Truth Social a lot, and he was saying, you know, a fighter that won isn't the one asking for a rematch. He goes, I won that debate because she didn't talk about, like you said, she talked about nothing, talked in circles and didn't bring up the border one time, didn't bring up any of the issues. And all the main issues, inflation and the border. I mean, that's what would defeat a candidate. Those two things. What was that alien-looking guy for Clinton used to say? It's the economy, stupid. That was his big line back in the day. It's the economy, and it is the number one voting issue is always going to be how much more am I paying at the grocery store and everywhere else. And it's really, they could say the more they don't address it and then have a way to fix it, and they tell you you're not experiencing what you're experiencing. That's why a ton of Hispanics and blacks have flipped for Trump, because you're not going to tell them they're not experiencing what they're experiencing. That level of Marxist lies and stupidity isn't flying with a whole bunch of it. It is with too many folks, like I said earlier, but it isn't with a whole lot. I think they said he's up to 30% of blacks in the latest polls, or some 20 or 30, which is a hell of a lot up, pretty far up there from like 5%, what it used to be. But blacks are starting to snap and they realize voting for a color didn't buy them a damn thing. So now they're figuring out who's the best candidate for them, and there's no doubt who it is. So we'll see. But I expect a Hail Mary pass by the Democrats. I expect something, you know, they call it the October surprise. Something will go down. Well, first of all, it could be. Did you see what Putin said yesterday? The U.S. is giving permission to the Ukraine, air quotes, to strike within Russia. And Putin came out and said, yeah, that's the U.S. doing that. That's NATO doing that. And if NATO does that, because Ukraine didn't have the power to do that. It's NATO and it's the United States, and I think he said Germany and somewhere else. he said, we will retaliate in kind, in turn. So, in other words, and they pretty much said, make no mistake, this will be World War III. Did you see that?
Well, I didn't see all that. I got the gist of it. I didn't read the details, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think that's probably, it seems like the administration is doing everything they can to get us into World War III, and of course, a possibility of then continuation of the current administration under that, because of the war and so on. So that may be what they're looking at. I don't know.
Well, whatever Putin is said that at that point they do not have the strategic ability to do that without NATO and mainly the U.S. And he spoke very calmly about it to the press out in an back alley, actually, and said, that's what this will be. And that will be China and Russia against the rest of the world. China, Russia, and Iran and whomever against the rest of us. And it is, there's nobody for that. There's nobody for that. And it's like Monkey Works, this guy I watch, Monkey Man, said he's telling you right then, and he goes, the draft will be reinstated immediately, he said. But not only that, he says they will call up prior service vets, and they won't have a choice, he made out like, that they will, the draft, but also there's this whole group of people that are in limbo, I guess. Is it guards and I don't know how all of that works, but Monkey, who's an ex-veteran, who has a podcast every other day or so, he said, it goes into, and he shows all the flights and all the stuff that's happening. You should watch it if you ever get a chance. And he can tell you from how the military is moving what they're up to. It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah, I don't know if that's the same thing I've seen. Somebody puts on, where the aircraft is moving and so on. I don't know if that's the same person or not.
Yeah, Monkey Works Monkey WERX, Monkey Works, and he's a patriot, no doubt. He's he's up there around y'all somewhere, I think, somewhere Fort Worth, Dallas area.
Yeah, I'll look that up and see what the deal is. So anyway, it's crazy. Yeah, the Democrats certainly have Plan A, B, C, and Plan Z. I think. I had just written down what I thought was going to happen, the Trump and what they, they tried to conviction on the trial. They started out before he came into office first time as president. And so anyway, I wrote down where they were going to try to assassinate him, and so they did do that. They tried it, and they tried it again. There's at least 2 attempts, and are telling how many more will it be.
Well, and Tucker did the same thing. Tucker, before he goes, they only have one more card to play, and he spelled out everything they've done to him. And they said, he told Trump on an interview they're gonna try to assassinate. That's all they got left. And of course now they're saying they're going to try again. But so. I don't know. I think Trump has possibly snapped now. A bullet flying through your ear might help you figure it out. But when you have, this is what I don't understand about Trump. He's smart about some stuff and dumb as hell on other things. When you have billions at your disposal, right? And people, patriots. I mean, military patriots, ex-SEALs teams, patriots. You could put together a alternative. You don't get rid of your Secret Service, but you have this other checks and balances of guys around you that would have been over there, right, in Pennsylvania, that would have seen that building's uncovered, get somebody on it. Now, it's a secondary, and you've got the money to pay for this. millions. He's got millions from Elon alone, not to mention his own money, not to mention other benefactors. So put together a team that is watching your back, where people aren't going to get bullets, where some kid isn't going to get a bullet off 150 yards away. Unbelievable heat. And Trump has the ability to not have let that happen, and he let his guard down.
Yeah, I understand that. It makes sense. So I don't know what the reasoning is, but the deep state is one of the issues that has to be cleaned up. I mean, we need answers of what happened to JFK, what happened to RFK, what happened to Trump, what about UFOs. You know, we're big boys. We can stand heat or whatever. Give us the truth. Don't say, oh, it's classified or whatever. Let's find out what really happened, and let's get this mess cleaned up. We don't need these people in the background running the government.
Agreed. KW5TX said that. First of all, they stole the last election. We all know that. Watch 2,000 Mules and several other documentaries. Just watch them. They stole it. We're still using the same damn voting machines. Nothing's really changed. Abbott, why is even Texas using them? Right? But they know that Trump has learned a lot from his. They know that it will be executive order hell on earth for them if he gets back in that Oval Office. There's one. Then two, putting Elon and RFK at the top of the cabinet. RFK Jr. alone, they are screwed on numerous fronts. And you think about it, if they killed JFK for a whole lot less, so all of these guys are in extreme danger, man. Just, I don't know, and the closer we get, the worse it is. So they've got to do something, crash the stock market, start a war, pandemic, all of the above. I don't know what they're going to do, but we'll see.
Yeah, 85 yes. Yeah, that's exactly right. So, he's got a great team and philosophy going there. That was excellent getting Kennedy in there and Elon Musk. And if Elon, if we understand it, he'd be in charge of cutting the fat out of the government, and that would be great. And then I don't know what he's going to do with Kennedy, but I think he ought to be ahead of the FBI.
Yeah, or CIA or all the above. And Elon needs to also be put in charge of truth in media, and they need to legislate that back where the media is not allowed to be biased to that degree, which there used to be some sort of law against that, and Obama overturned it. But there needs to be, when you tune into something on one of the major, like CNN, there needs to be some accountability for what they're talking about, rather than Morning Joe just spewing lie after lie after lie. Well, they need to get sued. The Congress needs to, and I don't mean to the point of fascism, but there needs to be some sort of checks and balances to hold these media organizations accountable, and there isn't right now. So, like both sides of the story, please, like X, like Twitter, like Musk already did. He's allowing everybody to talk rather than just the left.
Yeah, that's right. And I get so burned out at, the media, they can't just report something. They have to interject their opinion. It's like, so-and-so said this or whatever, but it's a lie, It's like, well, wait a minute here. Let me make that decision,
I love the fact that RFK is out there going, my party, the Democrats, used to be anti-war, and now they're pro-war, and they're part of the war machine, which really goes all the way back to Eisenhower. This isn't a new topic. He talked about the military-industrial complex. So, but Kennedy is really pushing that out there, how They are the Democrats, the left-wing Democrats, far left, are warmongers, and they are pushing for war. And he goes, that's why he left the party. That and the drug thing. That the FDA is 70% of the FDA budget comes from Pfizer or the big drug companies. 70% of the Food and Drug Administration's budget comes from the guys they're supposed to be regulating.
Yeah, it's a big circle. Yeah, it's bad news. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just rotten to the core, and it'd be hard to straighten out. But we got to do something. And I think, they want to put Trump in jail, and if they do that, that's easy for them to bump him off because they've got total control of where he's at and all that. So he can, hang himself or whatever. That'll be bad news if that happens.
Well, he should never go. He should never show up. He should just stick an army around his compound. I mean, first of all, these guys are out of control. They have taken, their movie, The White House Has Fallen. Yeah, no doubt, man. Communists, we saw it. Was a Chinese handler behind Biden at his inauguration. And nobody knew who the guy was, but he was straight from China. And I don't know. They got it. They got it. And this is what I say about. I don't think Trump. I think the landslide. Do you think that Joe Biden got more votes than Barack Obama? No, the landslide was Trump, and then they were able to steal it again in the middle of the night. It's so easy. If this was a movie, you'd practically turn it off. It's so bad. It's so stupid that human beings would allow this to happen in their country, a great country like this, and we allow them to steal these elections this badly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and if you look at campaigns, Biden and Trump, Biden would be in some back of some closed down, I don't know what, dock or something, and he'd have half a dozen cars out there, and obviously they're told to honk their horns or whatever, and he had nobody showing up, and Trump had all these people, and everywhere he went to, and it looked like, well, there's no chance. And then I remember too, the night before, Pennsylvania, Trump was way ahead in Pennsylvania, and I forget who he was, a governor or somebody. They interviewed him, and you could tell he said, well, just wait till tomorrow or something. I know that he knew what they were going to do, and then like 3 o'clock in the morning, all these votes came in for Biden.
Yeah, my question is, what are we doing differently to keep that from happening? What has Congress done? Oh, that's right, not a diddly damn thing.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I remember we first got here and I voted, and so they had electronic voting, and so I asked them there where I voted. I said, well, how do you know that this is not hacked or whatever? Well, I don't know. Of course, they're just volunteers, but they gave me a number to call, and I called them up, and they said, well, we run it through tests and all this stuff to verify that it's accurate and all that, but if they can hack into the computer and or reprogram the voting and all this stuff, I mean, I just like paper ballots where you have a record, you don't get into the Chad deal like you did in Florida, and you have, you can recount. And two, you look back before we had all this electronic, we had voting in one day, and they had the result that evening or that night usually, and so what's the big deal,
Well, what's the definition of insanity? You do the same old thing and expect different results.
Yeah. So like I say, what's the fix? We got the same company. They said it's okay. It's kind of like listening to Camel. It's like, I'll be the greatest president for you, and trust me.
Well, and that's Trump's biggest comeback on her is that, well, but you had 4 years and didn't do anything, and you didn't show up at the border. You say you're going to fix things, but you have no plan, and you didn't do anything the last 4 years as vice president. You know, the border czar, or whatever the hell they call her, and it's like, well, I've been to the border. I haven't been to the border. I haven't been to Europe. Ha ha ha. All of that crap. How is that just doesn't defeat her at an too big to rig, unimaginable landslide? But we could be that. Remember, they also own the polls in most cases. They skew the polls, so it could be a massive. They got him barely ahead in a lot of places. They even have her ahead in 1 or 2 places, but it could very well be that it's massive. You know, Hillary was ahead when he beat her in the polls, not in the exit polls, but so it could very well be that he's like so far ahead we don't even know, because they've got to skew it. That's how they do it. They cheat.
Yeah, well, I just saw last night or today, they said the polls, what they're doing is polling people that they don't have the right to vote. So they're polling people just to get the poll numbers up. So they're not even voters. So it's not an accurate poll.
Well, and rig it at